everyone, this is Brian from ActiveMelody.com. Now this song is kind of an upbeat, big band swing type blues that you might hear an artist like Brian Setzer play. And Brian Setzer is one of my favorite guitar players. He's just a phenomenal guitar player. But anyway, I've had a lot of requests, continue to get a lot of requests for acoustic blues, and so I thought that this would be kind of a new twist on it. It's obviously not like something you'd hear down deep in the Mississippi Delta, but it's a really fun song that you can play on an acoustic guitar or an electric guitar. If you want to download the tablature, I'll put that up at www.activemelody.com. But otherwise, let's get started. I'll break this down for you note for note. Alright, so real quick before we get started, I should mention the guitar that I'm using. I know I always get a lot of questions on that. This is an Alvarez EP170. It's a great little parlor guitar. And by the way, I have no endorsement with Alvarez. I'm just plugging this just for, just out of my own personal. But this is a fun guitar to play. It's a fairly inexpensive guitar. It's less than $400. I was at a local guitar store here in the Chicago area the other day and saw this on the shelf and picked it up and started playing it and realized I couldn't leave the store without it. So it happens to me a lot. But anyway, this is a fun guitar, and for those of you that are looking for a good acoustic guitar, this would be one I would highly recommend. It's not super crazy expensive break the bank type guitar, but it plays really well and it's very loud. So it's an Alvarez AP170. Great little guitar. It's really good for blues too. And these parlor guitars are fun if you're wanting to sit around the couch and play blues, or if you're wanting to travel. They're smaller, they're easier to play, they're easier to travel with, so a lot of benefits to a parlor. I can't find any reason why you'd ever want to play anything else. That's just me. Okay, so what happens in this, there's this little, it starts with a lead part that goes, and then there's a rhythm part that comes in and goes. So there's kind of a call and response thing where you've got the lead going. And if you notice, the lead never actually changes. So even when we go to the D chord, the chord is what's shaping the song, but the lead part, just in and of itself, that's it. So that's kind of a nice thing that you would typically hear maybe a horn player playing a part like that. But when it's just you and an acoustic guitar, that's how you can sort of emulate that big band swing type thing. So the chord that I'm playing is an A13 chord, and I'll break that down and show you how to play that. But let's start with that little lead part. So the first thing that happens is I start with my middle finger on the 4th fret 3rd string, and I'm going to slide up to the 6th fret 3rd string, just like that. That's the first note that is going to happen. Then I'm going to put my pointer finger down on the 5th fret 2nd string, then my ring finger down on the 7th fret 2nd string, and then we're going to come up to the 5th fret 1st string. So all together it sounds like this. Now sometimes when I'm playing it, I'll play it like this. And what I'm doing there is I'm just barring the 1st and 2nd string. That's kind of more of a Chuck Berry thing. Chuck would always kind of double up if he's playing. I can't remember how I did that in the intro, but I think sometimes I played the double string, or sometimes you can just do the single string. Either way works, but I did want to point out that you can do it either way. So that's kind of the timing of it is kind of. So it starts in that slide. And again, you can kind of hear a horn player playing that, It's like a 3-part horn section with a sax, a trumpet, and like a trombone. So that's the first thing that happens. Now the good news is you've pretty much learned the lead part, at least for the first half of the song. That's really all there is to it. Now the rhythm part comes in right after that, and so that first chord, as I mentioned, is an A13th chord, and it sounds like this. So I'll first show you how to make the chord, then I'll show you this little strum style that I'm doing. So to make the chord, I'm barring the 5th fret with my pointer finger, and then I'm putting my fingers down on my pinky finger goes down on the 7th fret 2nd string. My middle finger goes down on the 6th fret 3rd string, and then my ring finger goes down on the 7th fret 5th string. Sorry, I had to think about that for a minute. Okay, so then my pointer finger goes down and lays across and creates the bar. Okay, so pinky, 7th fret 2nd string, middle finger on the 6th fret 3rd string, ring finger on the 7th fret 5th string, and then the bar, a full bar on the 5th fret. And you want to make sure all your notes ring out. If they don't, it's not the end of the world, because you play this chord really fast. You play it like this. So, I mean, if you're shy a note or two, it's not going to be the end of the world. But that's kind of the general effect that you're trying to get. And that 13th chord, that A13th, it gives it that kind of big band rhythm sound. So, so that's what the chord looks like. Now the strum pattern is I'm playing it, and then I'm kind of I'm muting it. So I play it once, then I mute it, and what I do there is I just release the tension here with my left hand so that my fingers are still in place, but it allows me to get just a dead note. So you go, and you can, if you watch my left hand, you'll actually see me putting the pressure on. See how I'm squeezing? And that's the effect that you're trying to get. So, if we put those two parts together, you've got... Now let me do that slowly so you can see what my right hand is doing. You can see there's a timing thing where I go, and I hit just a muted thing just to create a rhythm. Sometimes I might even come up and just hit the guitar with my hand, and that's just a habit. You don't have to do that. You could do it with your foot too if you're tapping to keep rhythm, but I tend to keep the rhythm with my right hand on something like this. Sometimes it's the notes that you don't play that are the most important. Because it's defining the rhythm, and when you hear it all in context, it's the kind of thing you'd want to kind of tap your foot to. So you can see how I'm just kind of almost doing this with my right hand. And it's a combination of kind of muting and kind of just almost letting my hand come down and just hit the guitar. Again, I'll do that slowly. And yeah, you know, it's funny, I've never actually, now that I'm breaking this down to show you, I guess I never realized that I'm actually hitting the guitar, but that's kind of what I'm doing. It's a combination of hitting, I'm letting my pick kind of lightly hit some of the strings. Again, if that's too challenging, you can leave that part out. You could play it without that. It's just missing something without that sort of definition, I think. So that's what's happening there. Now, the other thing to point out in that rhythm is that last rhythm piece kind of jumps in there, so the timing goes... It comes in kind of quickly. It's almost on the and beat. So you don't want to play it too straight. If you play it too straight, it'll sound like this. And you could do that. There's nothing wrong with that. Make it up however you want. I like that sort of anticipation type rhythm thing where you're coming in a little ahead of the beat. So anyway, that's the rhythm. Now we repeat that that lead part again, and now this time I'm going to play a D9 chord, which will sound like this. And we've made this chord in other lessons. It's a very commonly played blues chord, but let me show you how to do it real quick. So we're going to take our middle finger, push it down on the 5th fret, 5th string. Our pointer finger goes down on the 4th fret, 4th string, and then the ring finger goes down on the 5th fret, 3rd string. So what you have, if you think of the D7th shape that you make down here in first position, it's that same shape that you're making, but you're just making it here so that your middle finger is on the 5th fret. That's the exact same shape though. So that's that part. Now the only thing you need to do to complete this is take your pinky, which is just kind of hanging out doing nothing anyway. We got to put him to work, and we're gonna mute the, or sorry, not mute. We're gonna push down, fret the strings 1 and 2 on the 5th fret. So it just sort of bars those two. So when you play it all together, it sounds like this. And you get that really nice, you know, it's kind of a chord you would hear in jazz or blues. But when you hear it in context with that rhythm, same strum pattern. I won't go over that again because that's been covered, but same concept. Okay, so that's the D9. Now, another thing you can do, and something that, you know, if I were just playing this sitting around the house, there's probably a million ways I might do it differently, but one thing you can do to kind of spice up the rhythm part is you could do, and that you could do that on any of these chords. You could do it on the A13th. So you could go. That's just sort of a different variation on that rhythm part, but sometimes those little things can really add a lot of color to your playing. So just something to think about. Okay, so after we play the D9 chord, we're going to go back to the A13th, same rhythm, same lead, same rhythm. Now after that, we're going to play an E9. So I'm going to play the same, almost the same lead. This time, the only difference is we're going to play that part of it's the same, but instead of coming to the first string on the 5th fret, we're going to come to the first string on the 7th fret to play that note. And again, same principle applies. You could bar those first two. If you want to do more of the Chuck Berry style, you can do it that way, or you can just play a single note. Either way is going to work. So it would sound like this. Let me do that slowly for you. Now, since your finger's already in place there on the 2nd string, 7th fret, it's very easy to just go ahead and bar to get that 1st string, 7th fret. You're already in position for it. Now after you do that, you play the E9th chord, which is like this. Good news on the E9th chord, since if you've mastered the D9, all you have to do is slide everything up 2 frets, and you have an E9. And so it's the exact same shape as the D9, just everything slid up 2 frets. So the next thing that I do is I play this little slide here, and what that is, I'm starting here on the 7th fret and I'm barring the first 3 strings, and really what that note is, or what that chord is rather, is that's a D6th. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide them up to the 9th fret. That's an E6th. So we slide up to an E6th and back down to a D6. Now if you think about the E9, you can hear that's a 9, so this is an E6. You can hear it's pretty similar, there's a lot of similarity, but it's a new sort of twist on that chord, obviously. So that whole last part up to there is. Let me do that slowly. And by the way, when we play that E9, we just do it, hit it once. Then we come up and do that. And then, all right, so then we come to this fun little run in the song that goes. Now, that sounds more complicated than it is. I'm actually not a very fast picker at all with my right hand. I've learned some tricks through the years that can make it sound like you are. And so a lot of what's happening is with the left hand, it's a combination of doing a slide and a pull-off that can give you that kind of fast run. Watch my right hand when I play this and you'll see what I mean. It's not doing a lot, so watch this. So most of the work is happening with the left hand, but because I figured out this, that allows me to play 4 notes pretty easily because it's a combination of doing this slide and this pull-off thing. All right, so we'll get to that in just a second, and I'll break that down for you. But let's start this little run. Now the first thing that happens is on the first string, 7th fret, I'm going to slide up to the 9th fret, and I'm going to use my ring finger to do that. Then I'm going to come down to the 5th fret, 1st string. So the first 2 notes sound like this. Now when I come to the 5th fret, I'm going to go ahead and bar the first 2 strings, which by the way, this is kind of considered pattern 1 for those of you that are familiar with the blues lead course that I have at activemelody.com. Shameless plug there, but that's where we're at. So since this song is in the key of A, this would be considered kind of pattern 1 down here. Those licks, that's where they're coming from. So after you get to the 5th fret, 1st string, I'm going to bar the first 2 strings and play. Do this little hammer-on thing. And what I'm doing is I'm barring the first 2 strings on the 5th fret, and I'm hammering on to the 7th fret, 2nd string, and then I'm playing the 1st string on the 5th fret. So it's pretty easy to do when you're hammering on, because this finger is covering those 2 notes that you're about to play, and the only thing you have to do is just hammer on with your ring finger to the 7th fret. So that's what you want to be able to do with that. So that's the first part of it. Here it is slowly. Now we're going to do that 4-note run that I showed you. That thing. And what I'm doing there is I'm going to keep this bar. So once I'm there, I'm going to stay there for a while. Not leaving the bar with the first 2 strings on the 5th fret. But I'm going to take my ring finger and I'm going to come up to the 8th fret. And then I'm going to slide it down to the 7th fret. This is on the 2nd string, by the way. I'm going to play the 2nd string, 8th fret. I'm going to pull it down to the 7th fret. Then I'm going to pull it off for a pull-off. And then, because this finger is still barring the first 2 strings, what'll happen is when I pull off, I'm going to get the 5th fret, 2nd string. So I have. It's always hard to do these pull-offs when you do them slowly, especially on an acoustic guitar. And for a pull-off, for those of you that are new to that, that's just kind of when you pull your finger off the string, when you let it go, kind of flicking the string a little bit to create that note. Just like that. Now after I do that, I'm going to hammer on to the 7th fret, 3rd string. So it's. Watch again, just pay attention to this, this bar here, it never moves. Watch the right hand, all I'm doing is picking the 2nd string once. And my left hand is taking over from there. So that gives the illusion, when you hear all of that up to speed, it gives the illusion that you're just really picking that stuff. But you know, when you break it down, you can see that that's not the reality. Alright, so after that I'll play. And for that, all I'm going to do is I'm going to keep that bar there, 5th fret, first 2 strings, and I'm going to play the 3rd string, 7th fret. Then I'm picking that note. Then I'm going to pick the 5th fret, 2nd string. And then I'm going to shift this bar, and instead of just barring the first 2 frets, or first 2 strings rather, I'm going to shift it so that I'm barring the first 3 strings. And that happens pretty quickly so that I can play this. So, here it is slowly. And what I'm doing there is I'm just playing the 5th fret, 3rd string, and I'm hammering on to the 6th fret, 3rd string with my middle finger. Then after I play that, then I'm going to take my ring finger and come down to the 7th fret, 7th fret, 4th string. Then I'm going to take my middle finger and come down to the 7th fret, 5th string to play this note. So all together it sounds like this. Here it is slowly. Now once that middle finger goes down to the 7th fret, 5th string, then I'm in position to be able to play the E 7th chord. And the way that I do it, since this is all happening so fast, is while that middle finger is down, I'm really only playing strings 5, 4, and 3. I go ahead and push down with my pointer finger on the 6th fret, 4th string, and then my ring finger goes down on the 7th fret, 3rd string, so that I'm playing these 3 notes. And remember, just a minute ago we played an E 9th chord. It's the same part, you're just only playing the bottom part of that. So the same chord, rather, but minus the pinky to get that E 7th sound. So all together, that last section goes. Okay, and that puts you in position to go to the second part. So let's break down that. So it's. Alright, so then the second half of this, I come down and I play. And what I'm doing there is I'm barring the 2nd fret, the first 4 strings, to play an A in the first position. And the first little run that I do is. So I'm playing the 5th fret, or 5th string open. Now I'm on the 3rd fret, 5th string. Now I'm on the 4th fret, 5th string. So, and by the way, you hammer that on, not the first note, but the second one. So, then I come up to the 2nd fret, 4th string. Then I come up to the 4th fret, 4th string. So all together that sounds like this. Slowly, it's. Now we're going to come back to the 2nd fret and play the 3rd string. So. Now notice what happens when I play that first note. I'm stopping it again. It's still a carryover from the first half where we were all that. So then after that I go. So after you get to that 3rd string, 2nd fret, we're going to come back to the 4th fret, 4th string, back to the 2nd fret, 4th string, and then I'm going to do this little. And all I'm doing there is I'm doing that little hammer on again. This is on the 5th string. I'm hammering on from my middle finger is already down on the 3rd fret, but I'm hammering onto the 4th fret with my ring finger. And then I'm going to come up here while I've got this barred and play the 2nd fret 3rd string. Like that. So let me play this little part slowly for you. See how fast that is? And that'll probably be the hardest part, is jump, because you're jumping between strings 5 and 3 with your right hand. You can see my pointer finger just stays barred the whole time. Okay? Now, so the first part is, then I come back and go. Now the second time what I'm doing is, when I come to the 4th fret 4th string, I'm going to just slide up to the 5th fret 4th string. And I'm actually playing strings 4 and 3. So string 3 is just an open D. And then string 4 is making that same D, but I think it sounds kind of cool when you play the 2 together. You don't have to do that, but it's just something I do. So it's that same little hammer on, walk up, and then so once I'm using my ring finger for that. I'm sliding up to the 5th fret, 5th fret 4th string, but I'm playing strings 4 and 3. Then I come down, I slide down to the 4th fret 3rd string, 4th fret 4th string, sorry. Then back to the 4th string 2nd fret. Then I do that little walk up again. This time I pick those instead of hammering them on. Alright, so the D part is pretty straightforward. It'll sound like this. Most of these notes or positions are exactly the same. Everything's just shifted up. So this time we're going to be barring the first 3 strings on the 2nd fret as opposed to the first 4 strings. So that stays pretty much in position, except that you're barring less strings now. And now we're going to start with the open D string, which is the open 4th string. Remember, before we started with the open 5th string. And then what follows that is, and for that I'm just pushing down with my middle finger on the 3rd fret 4th string, and I'm hammering onto the 4th fret 4th string. Remember we did that with the A? Now we're doing it with the D. Then I'm going to play the 2nd fret 3rd string. Then we're going to play the 4th fret 3rd string with my ring finger. Then I'm going to slide that same ring finger up to the 5th fret 5th fret 3rd string. So you have that. Then I'm going to slide it. I'm going to pick it and then slide it back down to the 4th fret 3rd string. Then back down to the 2nd fret 4th string. So it's. Then I'm just going to repeat that. So. And then I do this to get us back into position. And the nice thing about that is it's just a little box. So you're bouncing between the 4th fret and the 2nd fret on the 3rd string. And then you go between the 4th fret and 2nd fret on the 4th string. So it's, you can see it's just all in the same little area, same neighborhood there. So the D part, again, slowly sounds like this. Let me do it one more time, a little slower. back in position for the A. And for that, it's just the exact same repeat of what we did the first time. This time, however, now we're going to go to the E, so we're going to bounce between the 4th fret and 2nd fret, but this time we're going to do it on the 5th string. That allows us to hit that open 6th string, which is the E. So, alright, so then when we get to the E part, we've got... Now what I'm doing there is I'm using my middle finger and I'm barring, and I'm really playing strings 4, 3, and 2, which is an A chord, really. But what I'm doing is I'm doing this combination where I'm playing it and then I'm releasing, but I'm still playing those same 3 strings, so it's... So you can see with my right hand I'm going strings 4, 3, 2, 4, 2, 3, 4, like when I'm doing the upstroke. So it's kind of like that. So and that note, that single note, is played on the 4th string, 2nd fret. So it's open E, open 6th string. That's the first time through. The second time through I go. So the first time through is, second time through is, and for that, again, I'm just doing the bar on the 2nd fret, open, bar, 2nd fret, and then I think of this as just an E chord, but we're only going to play the top 3 strings. And instead of just playing it straight, I like to hammer on to that 3rd string, 1st fret with my pointer finger. And that's all I'm playing of that E chord. Now you could finish the whole chord if you have time, if you're fast enough, but for me, just getting those first 3 strings, and I do that on an upstroke. So slowly, the E part sounds like this. Again. So that's the E part. And then I just come right back to the A and finish it out with a little walk up, just like we did the first few notes when we did it the first time. So let's go through that whole second part. I feel like some of that might have been a little rushed. Hopefully I covered all of the notes. For sure, if you're having issues with this or some of it's not clear, make sure you get the tab, and you know, it'll all be notated there. But so I'm going to play through the whole second part slowly, so you can have this as a reference. Repeats, and you could just go back and forth and do that all day long. Now if you wanted to make this, take this to another place, you could always do that. You could always, instead of doing that same lead, you could do a different version of it, you know, and still hit the chords, but throw in a different type of lead that's repetitive. So so there's the whole thing. Let me play the whole thing just so you can have it. I'll play it kind of slowly so you can have that as a reference. And that should be it for this. So here we go. thanks for watching this lesson. Be sure to check me out on Facebook at facebook.com/activemelody. You can also follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/activemelody. I do look forward to hearing from you. As always, most of these lessons are requests that other users have asked for. I do have a running list going. I can't promise that I'll be able to create the lesson in a timely manner, but I will get to it eventually. So if there's something in particular that you're looking for, feel free to shoot me a message on activemelody.com. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next lesson.